Hey guys, in this lesson, we are going to talk about solving equations when you have radicals in the equation. And so the first thing I want to bring up is when you are solving equations, you must use plus or minus when you are dealing with an even root or an even index. I'll write that down there too. So like square roots, fourth roots, sixth roots, those we always have to include the positive and negative of these. So just don't forget that. So let's go ahead. These should be total review. So go ahead and see what you can do on these four. Again, there's nothing new on this one. So see what you can do. Okay, so I want you to take this time and push pause if you need to, but really go through and look at all my steps. If you didn't get what I got, just kind of review and see if you can see like any mistakes that you made. Okay, so now we're moving on to problems with extraneous solutions. So kind of think about what is an extraneous solution. So an extraneous solution is a solution that comes out of a problem that when you plug it back in, it doesn't give you the correct answer. Like I said, when an answer doesn't agree with the original problem. So we've had these before. I just want to point this out because this is a nice hint. When you have an odd root, so like fifth root, third root, seventh root, whatever, you do not have to worry about extraneous solutions. It's really when you have the even roots when you have to look at these. So just notice like these, we're probably going to have some of them with extraneous solutions. Okay, so when I come to this problem, the first thing I'm going to do is isolate the square root. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I get this. Okay, so I'm always trying, right, to get the x by itself. So the best thing to do here is just to square both sides. So when this happens, these cancel out each other and I get negative x equals, and remember guys, this is x plus 2 times x plus 2. So don't just like think that it's just 2 terms. So it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. And so when we have a quadratic, you know to like set everything equal to 0. So I'm going to clean this up again. X squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. So I'm going to factor it. And then set each one of these equal to 0. So this x is equal to negative 4, and this one is x is equal to negative 1. So at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and plug negative 4 and negative 1 into the original problem. So I have, let's see, the square root of negative 4 minus 2 equals x. Oops, which is negative 4. Okay, so this becomes 2, because this is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 minus 2 equals negative 4. Nope, that is not correct. So this is an extraneous solution. So let's try, I'm going to erase this. Let's try negative 1. So the square root of negative 1 minus 2 equals negative 1. So this, the square root of all that is 1. So 1 minus 2 equals negative 1. Okay, so I found it. This one works. This one doesn't. Okay, so this one is kind of a yucky one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of these square roots and move it over to the other side. So I'll just take x plus 2. So I get this. Okay, so the thing is I'm trying to get rid of the square root. So I'm just going to isolate this square root so I can square it and get rid of it. What happens over here is it becomes yucky. So this becomes like 1 plus square root of x plus 2, 1 plus square root of x plus 2. So there's a lot going on here. Over here, this just ends up being 5x minus 1. But over here, I have, let's see, I have 1, and then plus 1 square root of x plus 2 plus 1 square root of x plus 2 is 2 square root of x plus 2. And then plus this times this is x plus 2. Okay, so my next step is I'm going to isolate this term so I can square it. So I'm moving all these terms over. So let's see, this is 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to subtract an x from both sides. So I have 4x minus 4 equals 2 square root of x plus 2. So again, I want to isolate that square root, so I'm going to divide by 2. And so I get 2x minus 2. So 2x minus 2 equals the square root of x plus 2. And I'm seeing that I definitely did not leave enough room to do this problem. So I apologize for that. So when I square this becomes 4x squared. And then minus 4x is minus 8x plus 4 equals x plus 2. And then I'm going to move all of this over and set it equal to 0. So I have 4x squared minus 9x plus 2 equals 0. And then I'm going to factor it. So I factored it into 4x minus 1 and then x minus 2. So I'm going to set this equal to 0 and this equal to 0. So x equals positive 1/4 and x equals 2. So go ahead and see which one of these, or maybe both of them, will work in the original equation. Okay, so I showed you my steps here when I plugged in 2. So I plugged in 2 for x, and I got 5 times 2 minus 1 is 9. So I have the square root of 9, and then right here, I had the square root of 4. So 3 minus 2 equals 1. So I know that 2 is an answer, and 1/4, if you plug that in, that is going to end up being extraneous. Okay, these next two problems are going to be a lot shorter and easier to deal with. So they're weird the way they look, but it's not too bad. So what you're going to do is, if this is to the 2/3 power, you are going to raise this to the 3/2 power. And this is why. When you raise a power to a power, you multiply. So basically what I'm doing is I'm multiplying 2/3 times 3/2. So these cancel, and I'm left with 1. So we want this x to be by itself. So I'm going to take both sides to the 3/2 power. So again, on this side, I end up with x to the first, or just x, equals 4 to the 3/2 power. So you can either take the square root of 4 first and then take it to the 3rd power, or you can take it to the 3rd power and then take the square root. It doesn't matter. So whichever one you want to do first. I'm going to take the square root of 4 first, which is 2, and 2 to the 3rd power is 8. And don't forget, when you take the square root, sorry, I forgot to put this, it's the positive negative of 2. So I'm taking both of those to the 3rd power. So I end up getting positive and negative 8. Okay, so this one, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take both sides to the 2/3 power. Okay, so this one, we don't have to worry about plus or minus because we're taking the cubed root of it. So that doesn't make a difference. Even though it's square root at the beginning, don't worry about it. It's just like whatever you're taking this side to. So on the left-hand side, I'm left with x, but on the right-hand side, I'm left with 8 to the 2/3 power. So the cubed root of 8 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. And guys, we are done with this lesson.